CBS News Bay Area Evening Edition with Ryan Yamamoto.
Well, we begin in Oakland, where a store clerk has been caught up in the middle of a frightening crime spree. He was robbed at work not once, but twice this week. Thieves have targeted at least 6 gas stations and convenience stores all across the city over the last 3 days. Dahlin spoke to the clerk, who says a paycheck is not worth his life.
After giving a statement to police, the cashier told the manager he quit right on the spot. He had been working at this Grand Avenue 7-Eleven for 3 months, but 2 robberies back to back, he says, can't do it anymore. This is the aftermath of the early Friday morning robbery. Surveillance video shows 5 to 6 people leaving in what's likely a stolen car.
They came inside directly and they started hitting me and on my
Where
head.
did they hit you?
On my head, and then
On your head?
Yeah, then they forced me to open the cash register.
Cashier Bishnu Bandari says his head still hurts from the attack. He says the robbers took $300 to $400 in cash along with merchandise. The glass doors were locked Friday morning, but the robbers used a rock to break through and get inside.
I was scared and I don't know what was happening.
And this was the robbery just a day before, Thursday morning, at the same 7-Eleven. Bishnu was working then too. When robbers rammed a stolen car into the front of the store, he ran for safety.
I got scared and I ran to the office. After that, I locked the door from inside.
Bishnu says there have been multiple robberies at this location in recent years, including one in 2023 when gunmen held up an armed security guard to rob a delivery truck. He made $17 an hour, just above minimum wage. An immigrant from Nepal, Bishnu says he came to Oakland looking for a better life. Too dangerous?
Yeah, it's too dangerous, too risky.
Oakland police believe 3 separate crews are behind a wave of robberies and burglaries targeting gas stations and convenience stores this week. 4 people were arrested on Thursday. 2 other groups are still out there.
We're going to track you down. We're going to arrest you. We're going to recover the video. We're going to get the evidence. And now we're working with the district attorney's office, and people will be held accountable.
The robberies come as Oakland police announce overall crime is down significantly. They report robbery is down 44% and burglary down 36%.
If you're the victim of a crime, no matter what the trend is, and if crime's going down, it's going to be very hard for you to feel safe.
Bishnu and many 7-Eleven customers say it's hard to believe crime is down, given what they're seeing.
People are fed up and they're just not reporting it because it does kind of take a long time for the police to come for things like this. I mean, you have to be dying for the police to come in Oakland. Working his second job at a food truck on Friday, Bishnu says he's grateful to be alive, and now he'll start looking for a new job.
I'm okay for now, you know.
Yeah.
It's my luck, I guess.
You got lucky. You feel like you got lucky. I gotcha. No arrests in the early Friday morning robbery. Police are asking anyone with information to come forward.
And as Dom mentioned, most types of crime in Oakland are down so far this year, but there's a very important exception. Homicides are up 15%. And we're also following breaking news. Our chopper was over a shooting investigation. This happening in East Oakland. This is on 80th Avenue and B Street, a couple of blocks southwest of International Boulevard. You could see the large bullet holes in the windshield and doors of several vehicles there. No word on any victims. We have calls out to OPD for more information.
I'm Ann Makovic with a look at some of the other headlines we are following this evening. If you've seen the word goob painted in graffiti around downtown San Jose, police say they have finally tracked down who is responsible. 20-year-old Alex Garcia. He is facing numerous charges of vandalism. Police say he's been at it for at least 2 years. San Jose police also arrested a suspect in connection with at least 19 separate vandalism incidents across the city. 19-year-old Josiah Lopez Villalobos, he's been charged with gang-motivated vandalism and illegally carrying a gun. The DA says graffiti vandalism can cost the city hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. We are soon going to know if teachers in Oakland are planning to strike. Today is the final day for the union to vote on a potential one-day walkout. They say the district has not been transparent about potential cuts because of the Oakland School District's massive $95 million deficit. If more than half of the union's 3,000 members vote in favor of the strike, they could walk out on May 1st. San Francisco bringing EV charging to the streets. The city has installed 2 new curbside chargers. This one is along Fillmore Street. The city now officially has more EV stations than gas pumps.
We need to take action now. This is not the time for planning anymore. This is the time to put chargers like these in the ground and to take action within our communities to create the future that we want.
The electricity comes from nearby power lines without any added cost to nearby business owners or any buildings. Each space also comes with a sign reserving it for electric vehicle use only. Ryan.
All right, thanks, Sam. We'll turn into weather right now. Live look outside on a chilly end to the work week, and we could see some showers here and there throughout the weekend. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan tracking it all for us. Hey, Paul.
Yeah, an ominous look there from the top of Black Mountain looking out towards the Santa Clara Valley, or more accurately, the cloud cover that is obscuring the view of the Santa Clara Valley. We have seen some off and on showers throughout the day. This is the radar replay since late morning, and the showers have been very light, generally pretty brief, but they have been out there and a little bit earlier than anticipated. We didn't think this would really move in until a little bit later in the evening, but it has conformed to basically the pattern that we have expected, that this is not amounting to much more than a couple hundredths of an inch of rain so far. But in April, hey, that definitely does count. Let's take a look at Futurecast, and we'll wind the clock forward as we head through the weekend. We're just going to go all the way through Sunday evening, and the showers are going to be more missed than hit, but they're going to be out there. Just be prepared for the possibility of a shower at any point Saturday, and at least the first half of the day Sunday. There are going to be long, dry breaks in between, like we saw today, with a mix of clouds and sunshine. In between those showers, it does look like one of the better chances of rain is going to head our way late Saturday night into early Sunday morning. Let's take a look at temperatures for tomorrow, which are going to be on the cool side as we head through the day. Once again, temperatures running a good about 5 to 10 degrees below average, a mix of 50s and low to mid 60s. That's as far as we're going to go both Saturday and again on Sunday. Warmer weather next week. We'll talk about that coming up in the full forecast.
Well, in just hours, heads of state and royalty from all around the world will gather at the Vatican for the funeral of Pope Francis. The Pope's coffin was closed and sealed inside St. Peter's Basilica. That's after an estimated 250,000 people came to the Vatican over the past 3 days to pay their respects. CBS News' Tony Aiello is at the Vatican. He spoke with an American who will be doing a reading at tomorrow's funeral.
Security guards closed the lines to St. Peter's Square Friday, marking the end of 3 days of public viewing for Pope Francis. The focus now shifts to the late pontiff's funeral and burial Saturday morning. Among those taking part in the service, American Kelsey Gussie.
This is such a huge honor to be a part of this momentous occasion.
The 28-year-old journalist for Vatican News was chosen to do the first reading at the funeral.
The preparations actually started this morning with a practice here in St. Peter's Square, and we learned how we were going to walk up to the ambo and how we were to read.
Gussie went to Mount St. Mary's University outside Baltimore. She met Pope Francis twice. She says the first time he blessed her rosary ring. The second time was on her birthday.
He actually wished me a happy birthday. And in those moments, I didn't see him as the head of the Catholic Church. I saw him as a grandfather. And so for me, I think I'll remember him as someone who really cared for each person that he met.
Gussie told me it's a little overwhelming to think she'll be sharing a platform with so many dignitaries from around the world, including Prince William and President Trump, who had nice things to say about the Pope as he left for Rome.
I thought he was a fantastic kind of a guy.
After the funeral mass, a procession will carry the coffin to the Basilica of St. Mary Major, where Francis will be buried. The Vatican says prisoners, transgender people, victims of sex trafficking, and unhoused people will be part of the final send-off outside the church to honor Francis's focus on the marginalized and the needy.
And a North Bay teacher will have a unique perspective on the Pope's funeral. Peggy Semling, who was traveling in Rome when she got word of the Pope's death. The Marin Catholic High School teacher will watch his funeral from Assisi, Italy. That is the home of St. Francis and the namesake of Pope Francis. Our Julia Goodridge has more on this special connection.
Joining us is Marin Catholic theology teacher Peggy Semling, who was traveling in Rome when she got the news of Pope Francis's death. So Peggy will watch the funeral from Assisi, Italy, the home of St. Francis, the namesake of Pope Francis. So Peggy, thank you so much for joining us. How are the people in Assisi remembering and mourning the Pope?
You know, it's really great to be here. Assisi loves Pope Francis, and Pope Francis loves Assisi. 12 years ago, when he took the name Francis at the beginning of his pontificate, the city went crazy. They rang the bells for hours and hours and hours. It's really beautiful to be with the people that actually knew Pope Francis. And the first thing the whole city did was they all went to the churches. And we sang the Regina Coeli in every single church in Assisi, and there's a lot of them. And then that night, every church had a rosary for Pope Francis. So we're all carrying our rosaries around. Every shopkeeper, every person walking down the street is all, greeting each other and giving condolences. And they're sad, The sister that told me about him dying was in tears. And it was just beautiful. And we're all praying together. So when you get a whole city to pray for the Holy Father, I just hadn't experienced something like that back home in San Rafael.
Where will you watch the funeral?
Well, they have a bunch of like jumbotrons that they've set up. Now we're going to watch they're in front of the big churches in town. And so everybody will get together and watch it in a very, holy and comfortable atmosphere.
What are your hopes for the next Pope?
My hope is simply that the Holy Spirit is present and that the will of God is met when we choose our next Pope.
And we'll bring you the funeral of Pope Francis in a CBS News special report. Coverage begins at 12:45 a.m. our time. You can watch it right here on KPIX and streaming on CBS News 24/7 and Paramount+.